You have heard it before. The last great opportunity, the once-in-a-lifetime chance, the thing you will regret missing in 10 years. Someone said it about crypto. Someone said it about tech stocks in the 90s. Someone said it about real estate before 2008. And every time, some people got rich. Some people lost everything. And most people just watched, confused, unsure whether to jump or run. Now you hear the same words again about artificial intelligence, about energy, about infrastructure, about something called the next cycle. And that familiar feeling returns, the fear of missing out, the fear of being left behind, the fear that this time the opportunity is real. But here's the thing you already know deep down. The last great wealth opportunity of any generation is never the one everyone is talking about. This looks like a tip, but it is actually a trap. Let me say this clearly. If you have ever felt that urgent pull to invest in something because someone said it was the last chance, you are not greedy, you are not naive, you are not desperate. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. It is responding to scarcity. The idea of a last opportunity triggers the same neural circuits as the last piece of food in a famine. Your brain says act now or starve later. That urgency is not a sign that the opportunity is real. It is a sign that the marketing is working. And the difference between those two things is the difference between building wealth and losing it. Let us walk through why the phrase last great wealth opportunity is so dangerous and why the real opportunities never announce themselves with a headline. The first reason has to do with what psychologists call the availability heuristic, which is a complicated name for a simple pattern. You overestimate the likelihood of things you have recently seen or heard about. When everyone is talking about AI feels like the only path to wealth. When everyone is talking about real estate feels inevitable. When everyone is talking about crypto feels like the future. But here's the part most people miss. The thing everyone is talking about has already been discovered. The price already reflects the excitement. The opportunity for massive asymmetric upside is smaller than it feels. Not zero, just smaller. The real wealth in any cycle is built by people who saw something before it was obvious, not after. And if you're hearing about it on a YouTube video, on a news segment, or at a dinner party, you are not early. You are not late either necessarily, but you are certainly not the first. You see this everywhere outside of investing. The restaurant with a line around the block is probably good, but the best meal of your life probably came from a place with no line. The book everyone is reading is probably fine, but the book that changes your thinking probably found you, not the other way around. The job everyone is applying for is competitive. The job that launches your career is often the one no one wanted. The pattern is consistent. By the time something is obvious, most of the upside is gone. The second reason is that urgency and wisdom rarely overlap. When someone says, "This is the last great wealth opportunity," they are not giving you information, they are creating a feeling, the feeling of scarcity, the feeling of now or never. And that feeling is designed to short-circuit your decision-making process. You do not research under urgency. You do not think clearly under pressure. You act, and acting quickly in investing is almost never the right move. The people who built real wealth over decades did not act quickly. They acted slowly, repeatedly, boringly. They bought when no one was excited. They held when everyone was panicking. And they ignored almost every last great wealth opportunity that came their way because they understood something crucial. There is always another opportunity. There has never been a generation that missed every chance, and there has never been a last one. And this is where money becomes emotional in a way most people never name. The fear of missing out is not about the opportunity, it's about your identity. You are afraid that if you miss this, you will look back and see yourself as the person who played it safe, the person who watched from the sidelines, the person who could have been rich but was too scared. That fear is real, it's painful, and it's exploitable. The people selling you the last great wealth opportunity are not selling you an investment, they are selling you relief from that fear. Buy this and you won't have to wonder what if. That's a powerful promise. It's also not an investment strategy.
it's an emotional pacifier. The third reason has to do with how wealth is actually built, not through single home runs, through thousands of base hits. The person who bought Amazon at the right time and held it for 20 years is a legend because that story is rare. The person who bought a diversified index fund every month for 20 years and did nothing else is not a legend, they are just retired, and their story is boring, so no one tells it. The financial media doesn't write articles about the person who slowly, quietly, consistently invested in low-cost funds and ended up with $2 million. That story doesn't sell. The story that sells is the teenager who turned $5,000 into $5 million on a meme stock. That story is exciting. It's also vanishingly unlikely. And chasing that story is the fastest way to ensure you end up with neither the excitement nor the wealth. You see this pattern in every field. The musician who practices scales for 10,000 hours is not interesting. The musician who writes a hit song in a weekend is interesting. But one of those stories produces consistent results, and the other produces survivors who get profiled on Netflix. The same is true for investing. The last great wealth opportunity of your generation is not a sector, it's not a stock, it's not a coin. It is the ability to sit still while everyone else chases headlines. That ability is rare, it's valuable, and it is completely invisible. Here's what most people miss completely. Every generation believes they are living through unprecedented times, and every generation is right. But the wealth that gets built in unprecedented times is not built by predicting the unprecedented. It's built by owning productive assets through the chaos. The people who own diversified businesses, real estate, or stocks through the last 30 years did not need to predict the internet bubble, the financial crisis, the pandemic, or the inflation spike. They just needed to stay in the game. The opportunity was not timing any of those events. The opportunity was not missing any of them either. The opportunity was staying seated while the room spun. Over time, your relationship with opportunities changes. In your 20s, every opportunity feels urgent because time feels infinite, but money feels scarce. In your 30s, you start to notice that most urgent opportunities were not opportunities at all. They were distractions. In your 40s, you stop looking for the last great anything. You realize there is no last, there is only next, and next always arrives. In your 50s, you understand that the best opportunity you ever had was the one you didn't take, the one you ignored, the one that let you keep your capital safe until a real, unsexy, boring opportunity appeared. The same market, the same headlines, but a completely different emotional experience, because you have finally learned that urgency is not a signal. It's a tax on people who haven't yet learned to wait. The behavior of ignoring the last great wealth opportunity protects you in ways that feel boring until they save you. The person who chases every hot sector is always selling low and buying high. They are always one step behind, always paying fees, always generating taxes, always exhausted. But the person who says no thank you builds something quieter. They build patience. They build capital. They build the ability to recognize that most opportunities are not opportunities at all. They are just stories dressed up as opportunities. That is not cynicism. That is a filter. A calm, boring filter that keeps you from donating your hard-earned money to people who are better at telling stories than they are at building wealth. So if you felt that pull recently, that urgency, that fear that you might miss the last great chance, you are not foolish. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are human, and you are swimming in a culture that has perfected the art of making you feel like you are running out of time. You are not. The next opportunity will come, and the one after that, and the one after that. The only thing you will ever run out of is the willingness to keep showing up. That willingness is your real wealth, and no one can sell you a ticket to it.